Hi.
Hey, it's so good to speak to
Hey.
you. How are you?
It's warm,
Oh yeah, same here. Ugh, horrible.
crazy warm. But other than that, I'm good. I'm good.
That's great to hear. Um, so you've just released, well, not just, but a few months ago you released the Throne of Gold album.
Mm,
Um, would you like to tell viewers a bit more about the sort of world of Soraya and about the album?
sure. That story actually became a thing when I was 16, and now I'm turning 46. So it's been it's been a while
Yeah.
in the making. Um the world is kind of hard to describe. I was when I was growing up, I was a huge Tolkien fan, right? The
Mhm.
guy who wrote Lord of the Rings. But also, I read the books about the Sandman. Have you seen the series or read about the Sandman?
I know of the Neil Gaiman uh, comics, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's more towards the Sandman paranormal world rather than Dungeons and Dragons and knights and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, but it's really hard. I've been writing so much since I started this project, so it's hard to describe in a few words. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I guess it's a fantasy story about a world facing a paranormal threat that's going to blank out the sun and make everything dark, right?
Mhm.
So, and our creators or the architects who did this world gave up on it because they in the creation of life some other nasty paranormal entities were spawned into this world, so they gave up on their creation, but they left a book to the how you say, to the normal people of this world. They got a book
Mhm.
of kind of the recipes how to handle the dark or counter the dark, um, and in that book 32 pages were torn out and hidden across the world, right? So it wouldn't fall into the enemy hands or whatnot. So everything is based around the number 32, right, in our
Mhm.
rune circle and everything. So uh, and another weird thing is this is not this is not just this is not just playing out in one how you say this. It's not. It's it's both past, present, and in the future. And because
Mhm.
when they created time, they used portals to be able to time jump the ages, right? And when the
Mhm.
creators abandon the creation, the portals are still around, so people are jumping almost like. Have you seen the movie Highlander?
No, I've not. No.
Okay, so it has to do with time travel as well.
Mhm.
So it's crazy deep,
Yeah,
but it's
there's a
really
lot going on.
there's a lot going on. But the main focus is the rune circle with the 32 runes, and every rune on that circle represents a place on the map where one of the pages are hidden, right? So
Mhm.
whenever someone moves or in the vicinity or the area where a rune is buried and a page is hidden, the rune lights up in the circle, right? So it's all about finding all the remaining pieces of the book, so the the darkness can be vanquished or whatever.
Mhm.
In short, that's a really short, condensed version.
Yeah. Well, one day I'd like to hear the full long version then,
Mhm.
because.
I talked to the guys about doing like a graphic novel about when
Mhm.
everything is completed, because I've written crazy amount to get the story where it is now, and the story is actually done. So I've written to the final chapter of the fourth album.
Oh
So
yeah, that's another question I was going to ask, because it
mm,
said the story's going to be told over the course of 4 albums, and obviously we've got the first. So, is there anything in particular that you're excited about for the next coming years for Sarayasign?
I'm actually crazy thrilled about what's going on now. I can't say too much today, but we a week ago a major label picked us up.
Oh, that's amazing! Congratulations.
I'm not gonna go into any details because nothing is set, but we actually got a multiple album record deal. So I think it's gonna be maybe more than 4 albums. So we'll see.
Wow.
So
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that's the good thing. The other problematic thing that we faced is that we are changing the lineup for the next record.
I see. Yeah, that'll be a new challenge for you then.
It has become a real natural thing because the keyboard player and the guitarist, the lead guitarist, have decided that their lives, they have children and they don't have time for this. So me and Daniel Likeklev, the bass player, are gonna do most of the keyboards and soundscapes on the next music that we do. We did that anyway on the first one, and we have recruited a new guitarist that is crazy good. So
that's amazing. So some new challenges and some new exciting things as well.
Yeah.
It's strange you actually predicted. One of the questions I was going to ask is like what sort of like novels and TV series like have inspired you in terms of storytelling, but you already predicted that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask something
I would
like
say
that.
Tolkien, but it's more in the realm of the Sandman, because Sandman, when you check the folklore, Sandman used to be a character that comes and puts sleepy dust on children, right, to make them fall asleep. Our take on the Sandman, which was sung about in track number 5 on the first record, he is way more sinister. So he actually controls time and dimensions, right?
Yeah.
And what happens in the song Sandman is a girl is facing a loss from her husband that died in a car wreck. So she's actually begging Sandman to come and take her soul in her sleep, so she can be with him in the afterlife. So it's more a sinister version of the folklore Sandman.
Yeah, I think definitely Sandman is one of the like standout tracks on the album. But like it gets quite heavy, and so that led me to wonder, like, even though it is obviously a fantasy series, when it deals with themes like grief and stuff, it seems very real. So one thing I was going to ask is, do you or any of the other guys like use any of your personal experiences to kind of shape the story or music you want to tell?
Definitely. I've had some loss in my life, and when I was a little kid, I was adopted. So I was adopted really early, when I was like 4 or 5 months. So there's always been kind of a disconnect from my birth parents, right? So that, in a sense, became a loss also through time when I was growing up, even if I have the most amazing parents. But I think that I have poured a lot of the grief and sorrow that I've been dealing with in my life. I just poured my heart into the stories. You can't write this stuff if you haven't. You need to. It needs to be real. It needs to come from somewhere real. Yeah.
Because it sounds like it is a story you've been feeling for a long time. Like you said, you've been writing it since you were 16.
Yeah. Actually, when long story short, we actually recorded a version of this album in 1994. So with the same guys. And then life happened, and things got in the way. And I contacted the guys 3 years ago and said, shouldn't we at least find a way to convert these old analog tapes to digital to see what we were recording then, if we can work with it? So this has been in the making for a lot of years. And when I went down to my storage unit and picked up all the old notes and character names and all this stuff, and was trying to remember what I was writing about when I was 16, that was a challenge. But
yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
So then so you say that you contacted the old guys 3 years ago. What was it about that period of time where you thought, like, finally now now is a good time to really go back and see how that story resonates with me now?
I think the most important thing for me was I wanted to find out if the roots and the same DNA that I had with these guys. I've never felt creatively that the match that I do with these people.
Mm-hmm.
I've been writing for a lot of other bands. I've been producing a lot of other bands and writing for them for a lot of years, but I haven't really done anything my own thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't felt that I had that connection with any other musicians. So I think that it's been like a thorn in my side for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good that we are doing it, and I think all of us feel the same way. It's sad in a way because there's a lot of lost years and a gap between us, but I don't think we could have done it like this when we were children.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be done professionally now, so it's all good.
Yeah, I guess as well, if you've had a longer life and lived through things, then you can bring those experiences with you to the songwriting rooms, which can only strengthen the music, really.
I checked a lot of the lyrics that I wrote then, and the only lyric that we kept was Throne of Gold. That's the only lyric that we kept intact.
Yeah.
The other ones were not good English, not word. The words were not good writing, so it's much better now.
So going more into the sort of like roots of your band, what bands would you say have inspired like you musically, and then what bands have inspired you in terms of like storytelling? Like, do you have a favorite concept album, anything like that?
When I was growing up, the only guy I wanted to be was Peter Criss, you know, the cat man from the band Kiss, the drummer.
Yeah.
But so that's where I started. I was born in '76, and I guess their biggest time was 73, 74, 75. But the album that did it for me, that opened up this world to, you can do something more than write about a nice car or a good-looking woman or whatever cheesy heartbreak 80s lyrics. And that's when Queensryche released Operation Mindcrime.
Oh yeah, that's a fantastic album. Queensryche always do things very differently, I've found, but still have like a core classic style. Especially
when Christy Garmo, the guitar player from Empire and Operation Mindcrime, and when they were together with Jeff Tate, the singer. The new Queensryche, I don't know anything about that, but that album, Operation Mindcrime, got me thinking, for sure. I almost grew, the headphones almost stuck to my head when that album got released. That's the only thing I was listening to, checking out the videos and reading the lyrics and like seeing things.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. So how do you approach songwriting then, when you start from complete scratch?
In this concept, it's crazy difficult because I've written, the stories are written like almost like a book, right? Then you need to take small portions out of a certain situation or a certain feeling from one of the characters or a certain thing that's happening, and you also need to match that to a real rune or a real bind rune that has a meaning, right? So that meaning needs to resonate with the story and the feeling of the song, and finding a place on the map and everything. It's difficult, I would say, because I don't want to get lost in the concept. I want every song to be able to, if you don't care about our story or the concept, you should still be able to listen to a good song, right?
Yeah. So I think it's absolutely clear in your album, like, they are songs first, it feels like, and stories second, if that's what you want to find.
And you said something in your review, which I thought was really striking. the whole idea was I want to tell the story and the concept through the songs, right? Not have a certain story and then just get lost in the. So it's difficult. It's a little bit unorthodox from normal songwriting, I would say.
Yeah, because obviously you've got it sounds like you've got a lot of songwriting experience from prior bands and production. So this must be really refreshing for you to try something quite different.
And terrifying, because I produced this album. I've never produced any album in my whole life, and being able to and receiving the praise that me and Daniel got from the production of this album is crazy. I've never even been close to producing anything before. I'm a drummer first, and I did all the rhythm guitars as well, but I'm not a producer. But now I am, apparently.
Oh, that's really wonderful, and I'm really excited to see what you guys do next. Thank you so much for today.
No problem.
It's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Are we done?
Yeah, I can call it a day. Yeah.